Welcome everyone. Looks like we are live. All right, so today we've got a great topic for you guys. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this either as a business owner or as a leader in a company where you are feeling like you are running from pillar to post. You're putting out all kinds of fires. It's nonstop drama, right? That you just are not able to get everything done and you're just tired and exhausted and you're just like I don't know how many times before, especially as a younger leader, um, I would be running around in meetings and doing stuff all day, and then by the end of the day I'd stay 4 or 5 or 6 hours late so that I could catch up on the tasks that I needed to do. And so today's training is really going to help you. We're going to talk about setting boundaries to be able to protect our time and energy as leaders. So that is the topic for today. If this is your first time joining me, my name is Tina. I'm a happiness coach and I help business owners deal with the emotional side of the business, whether that is dealing with the emotions of your employees, your customers, or yourself, personal or professional. I help you with those kind of things and help you be able to have a place to talk those things out and bounce those ideas off of, because doing this on your own can be really draining. So, and you definitely can't talk down or talk within the company, because then that starts triggering fear, and that's a whole other kettle of fish, and we don't want that. So, guys, so today, as I was thinking, I was thinking a lot about boundaries today and how before I was not so good at being able to set those, and I would try to do more because I was still stuck in that junior employee kind of mentality where you say yes to everything. And that's usually what ends up getting you promoted into a leadership position. You say yes to everything, you step up, you take on extra work and everything. And I wasn't very good or very skilled at learning how to say no, and also not just jumping in and doing it myself all the time. And because I was always doing things myself, what that can lead to is that can lead to a buildup of resentment. It can lead to frustration and anger. You might be looking at your staff or your employees and thinking, if you only knew half of the stuff I have to deal with, right? And so then you end up having to do like a little martyr salute, right? And it just causes all of these feelings to build up, and you don't end up protecting your time properly. Yeah, the martyr salute, you like that one? Right? It's like, oh, woe is me. Oh, I have it so hard. You guys don't understand, right? And if you are saying that kind of stuff as a leader, you are not properly protecting your time. You are taking on too much, and you're not delegating enough to your team. And usually, the only time leaders start to think of this stuff is when they are under the gun, when they are stressed out, and then they throw something at one of their team members and say, well, I tried to delegate and it didn't work. And like, I might as well just do it myself, right? And so, if you are saying that stuff, you have not done enough with being able to plan, train properly, and to be able to focus on knowing what things are going on your day to day that is draining you, right? Draining your most valuable resource, which is your time and your energy, right? So we have to start, number one, paying attention to what's going on in our body and paying attention to our emotions. So those are signals to tell us, hey, something's not right here. I shouldn't be running around exhausted, frustrated, angry, pissed off, anxious, frantic about stuff, because if you as the leader is running around feeling like that, your team is going to pick up on all of that energy and they're going to feel fear and uncertainty. They aren't going to make steps. They're not going to step forward. They're not going to they're going to sit back and wait for you to give them direction, because they're going to be now so afraid. It's like, well, what if I do something wrong? I don't want to add stress to them. So this doesn't always come from a bad place, but sometimes they're like, well, they seem really stressed out, so I don't want to add more stuff to their plate. And I know I was like that for some of my leaders, that I was like, okay, I know you're really stressed out right now, so I would either hold back or I'd leave them alone so that they could get some things done. I would offer help, and I would say, hey, is there anything that I can help you with? Or I would offer something specific as well, not just asking, is there anything I can help you with? I would also say, hey, I know how to do this. I can take that off your plate for you. So if you have something specific that you know how to do, or if you're able to actually just do it and just say, hey, by the way, I took care of this for you, right? That will go a long way to helping a leader if you're in the employee position. Always a good thing to do. Leader, business owner. Okay, so paying attention to our bodies. So are we feeling tension? Because a lot of times this becomes so normal. We're so used to the rat race and being on the treadmill that we don't even know what's going on. Are you finding that your shoulders are tight? You have tension headaches, you're clenched up, your breathing is shallow, right? If you aren't taking full deep breaths, I know there's been many times when I was in the corporate environment that I would, there were friends of mine that they'd be like, Tina, my neck is killing me so bad. Can you come help and massage? And so I would go over to their desk and I'd give them a massage, and then I'd be like, could you actually breathe? Like, you're not even breathing, such shallow breathing, right? So make sure that you're taking in enough oxygen, that you're able to actually relax your body. And that will help you start to think clearer and reduce some of the tension. So it's physically taking that step back so that you can get an objective perspective on what's going on, rather than running around reacting to every little fire that you've got to put out. So number 2 is data. You need to start paying attention to data and patterns. How often is this happening? Are you noticing it is happening more frequently? Has there been something that was a catalyst that started this? Is it when you're doing a certain task? Is it when you're talking to certain people? What are the challenges? Start to really identify where the frantic and or energy draining activities are coming from. Also start to pay attention to the timing of it. That's the third thing, is the timing of it. Is it happening in the morning? Is it happening more in the afternoon? Is it happening at month end? Month end used to be crazy. And especially in sales, when we were trying to hit our target numbers to make the numbers for the month, and we had to push things out. Same thing within transportation and distribution. It's like we had to get so many pallets out the door to hit our numbers for the month, right? Everything is tied to some sort of profitable metric, right? So you want to be able to understand what is draining your time, your energy, what's causing you tension, what's causing you to get frustrated, irritated all the time. Pay attention to how frequently that's happening. When is that happening? What particular tasks is that happening on? Start to identify those so that you can now start looking, taking a step back, and putting plans in place to start to mitigate some of those challenges. And if you're finding that you're always reacting to one thing and you're thinking, Tina, I have no time to sit back and plan and do all this stuff, taking the time, and I've done this many times, it's like you will block time out on your calendar for a particular meeting. Hey, Emmanuel, good to see you. Welcome. Thank you for joining the live. So you will take time to plan a meeting, time with your employees, do something like that. Block out a time, put it as a meeting for yourself so that you can work to specifically address this kind of issue. Where are the challenges that you're facing? If you have to do this off-site, so that you can get that time in, then book that time offsite so that you can focus and start to troubleshoot what it is that you need to change, because you can't just keep running around pillar to post, always frantic, always trying to figure out, how can I do this, and always reacting. You need to get ahead of things, you need to be more proactive at it, and you need to be able to say, okay, these, and keep it short and sweet. Don't try to make like a million different tasks. You want to keep it down to one, two, or three things that would actually change and that you can get done in the next couple of days. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I need to take off my plate. Or maybe you realize, you know what, I keep doing this one repetitive task. It's like I keep doing it over and over and over again. If you as a leader are doing things that are repetitive tasks that are ongoing, it's definitely time to look at that. Is there a staff member that you can delegate that out to? Is there somebody that you can start training on it? If so, start booking that training time in your calendar so that you can functionally and proactively plan to get that off of your plate, rather than reactively when you're in a time crunch and you cannot possibly hit that target. Make sure that you're planning ahead and you're getting somebody trained and you're giving them the opportunity to step into it when it's not trial by fire. Some people do really well at trial by fire. You throw them in the deep end, they'll figure out how to swim. Other people, they drown, and then you end up having to clean up the mess, and that's a lot of paperwork, right? So you definitely don't want to do that. You want to try and be proactive when you're doing this, planning it out of, these are the things that are really draining me, that are really taking away my time. And if you're doing that ahead of time, you're less likely to feel guilty about it. You're less likely to feel, thank you, Big Boss, for the flowers. I appreciate you. You're less likely to feel like that you're just dumping things on people. If you have a proper training plan and a proper handoff of, hey, when these things, I only need this help at month end because I've got all these other reports that I've got to get done. And so, Joe, I need you to help out with this, and we're going to go through a training period and I'll show you how to do it. Joe's probably going to be excited about the opportunity to learn something new, to expand, to grow within the company. You're giving him more responsibility, you're giving him more challenge. If he's a good employee, he's going to want to step into those things. So you definitely want to plan ahead, and then make sure that you're leaving enough time in your day so that you can take that step back, you can assess, and you can deal with things that are going on with the team. And a lot of times it's too easy to get stuck in the day-to-day stuff that we tend to remember when it's coming up to quarter end or month end or year end, something like that, and we're like, oh shit, I didn't get these things done, and you're running around frantic about that kind of stuff. So really learning to protect our time and our boundaries is going to save us a lot of resentment, a lot of outbursts and stuff like that that may be happening in the day-to-day, in the office. You want to be able to get ahead of that, because you will feel better. Your top priority is for you to get your emotions under control, for you to be in a place of strength and not stress. Okay? That you're not running on stress all the time. Now, some people will be like, no, you need stress to make things, for it to work, and you can get creative and, yes, sometimes, but it can't be chronic stress. You're not supposed to live in that state, right? And most people that are your employees don't want to live in that state either. They don't want to deal with somebody who's in that state, because that energy is contagious and it's not fun to be around. And people are much more productive if they feel happy. They like coming in. They feel like there's enough of a challenge that they have the ability to grow, to contribute, to add value to the company, but they also don't want to feel like they're constantly burning the candles at both ends, because then you're going to have a high churn rate on your employees. And maybe that's the kind of industry that you work in and you expect it. But if that's the case, then you absolutely, even more so, need to have those training plans in place so that you can onboard new people rapidly, right? So if you deal with like a lot of students work with you, and so you want to make sure that you have a very fast ramp up time of training plans, of making sure that you can go through those processes in an effective way, and that you have checks and balances to make sure that the people who are onboarding in a way that they don't feel stressed, that they understand what's going on, that they're paying attention to their body, their emotions. They're recognizing the patterns of when they're getting stressed out and when to ask for help. Because if you don't know when to ask for help, how is your team going to know when to ask for help? So that is the training for today. It's a short, sweet one, but if you're just joining in and you didn't catch the beginning part, go over to my YouTube channel, Coach Tina B 125, and click on subscribe. You'll get notified when I upload the replay of this training. So guys, if this has been helpful for you, make sure that you comment, like, subscribe, and come back again tomorrow. Take care. Bye.